what I worry about is certain industries that may or may not be doomed. I don't know if movie theaters are doomed, but there's a good chance. Certain, maybe musicians are going to have to adapt. There's plenty of adaptations in industry. We can agree on that. But that train's coming, and you get into the state of denial. I've been there. Anyone can be there. So I'm not speaking like I'm above other people. But if you can realize, if you can find the knowledge of just exploring and really thinking on your own independently, maybe thinking differently than others that are around you, and come to that realization that, hey, this train's coming. I need to start something different, which is hard. But start now so that you build this momentum. So when that train hits, you've already, you're not in front of it, and you're kind of in a new world.
Dude, I love that, man. I love that. I think that you're looking at a process of not being in denial about something where you could be very justifiably in denial. Like, it's really easy to make excuses right now. Actually, I think that it's important to, like, and many people, and I've felt this around myself as well. I think that there is a greater tolerance that's needed towards you yourself in terms of self-care. Like, hey, you kind of had a bad day for some reason because you've been inside. And I think that it's really cool to see, at least, the echo chamber perhaps that I live in online, where a lot of people have been talking about that. They've been talking about, yeah, listen, like, let's not be so hard on ourselves. Now, I think that, depends on, I think that you still want to push hard. You want to tell me the story that you're going to have in 20 years about what this led you to do.
Yeah.
And how powerful it's going to be if you're able to say, hey, I created this and my life was never the same. Like, what's going to happen when you're in 2 or 3 years from now, when you're thriving, but when you go look back at that moment and you're like, damn, I just crushed that. So what do? I just never stop. It's a rocket ship, right? Like, if you can launch a business and be successful right now, for example, like, man, that might be the greatest shortcut to just huge, energetic, like, business success in your lifetime, because nothing else can really stop you.
Yeah, dude, I have been wasting a lot of energy trying to kind of debate with people that are close to me about politics and stuff. It's like, no, man, you need to use all the energy and build something. I'll tell you something personal. So I learned, I've podcasted for 7 years. You and I started a podcast together way back in the day. And man, I started to see the trend of YouTube. I mean, YouTube is the second biggest, number 2 search engine behind Google. It's not Yahoo. It's not Bing. It's not DuckDuckGo or InfoSeek. And anyway, this gave me the impulse to start a YouTube channel because, we are primarily sold in retail and we're building up e-commerce slowly. But hey, I wanted to start a YouTube channel. This is the perfect time to do it, where I'm literally indoors and everyone else is. And, I'm going to have to do 50 to 100 episodes and kind of build it up. But that's, I'll hope to look back and say, hey, this is when I transferred from podcasts and audio to YouTube. So that's a personal thing I'd like to share with everyone. So they know kind of the origins of this channel.
Dude, I appreciate that share so much, man. It's, dude, it inspires me and it makes me like, I'm like, damn, Matt, like, I love it. I love it. And it's such good energy. It's such good energy, what you just said, right? Especially because it's such a different conversation. It's a creation conversation. You're creating something. You're creating something in spite of circumstances, right? Like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of like, oh, you're a CBD coffee company. You should, you should be doing paid advertising where you can do it with sponsoring influencers, which are not bad things to do, but like, why are you doing a YouTube channel? And when you do something different, there's going to be that, just something that you'll have to figure out. And the one thing a lot of people don't talk about, Danny, is, and you might be better than others. I don't know. Maybe you are, but when you take a different path, it's a little bit lonelier, and it's harder for a reason, or at least to initially get started on it, because there's less reference points. It's easier to question yourself when omission versus commission. It's like omission is like, okay, we were falling because of COVID-19. We all kind of fell off, but that was what everyone was doing. So that just happened. When you say, I made a decision, making that decision, it puts a little bit more, it puts a lot more of your ego, you put yourself out there. Right. And as Mark Manson would say, who we met, we first met in the entrepreneur meetup in Medellin, is like, the embracing the vulnerability, which is a place that everyone should go to right now, or some people are forced to. But I think vulnerability is another way to look at a lot of the things we talked about. And you talked about the spirituality space and coaching space and learning from friends.